It is evident that if you asked somebody what Coca-Cola is, they would for sure know what you're talking about. It is a carbonated, sugary, great-tasting beverage, or great tasting according to whoever is contributing to the 1.9 billion bottles sold each day according to Market US. I may repeat, 1.9 billion a day. Coca-Cola is also the second most known phrase in the world behind OK. You could go almost anywhere in the world and say Coca-Cola and people would know what you're talking about. What is more interesting is the fact that if you went up to anybody who was alive and aware around in the 70s, or just even afterwards for many years, and mentioned about a advertisement called "I would like to buy the world of Coke," they would not only know what you're talking about, but they would probably still know the tune to it. Trust me, I've tested it on many people, my parents, teachers, just saying, do you know the advertisement, "I would like to buy the world of Coke"? And they would instantly know what I'm talking about, and I've had some people hum the tune to me, even though this ad was made in 1971. That was 50 years ago. Before diving into and unraveling what made this ad so successful, I first need to break down the socio-political environment of the times. The late 50s leading into the 1970s was a time of freedom fighting, Cold War scares, the Vietnam War, and a lot of assassinations. People protested racial inequality, Jim Crow laws, and the end to legalized racial discrimination. At the same time, people were going to Vietnam and dying, and a lot of the public did not agree with this war, and there was a great amount of civil unrest and protest because of this. Feminism was also growing, and the fight for equal pay, the end to sexual violence, and the end to domestic abuse, with a whole lot of other issues, was being heavily fought and protested for. Overall, America was in a time of change, and it's time to admit that there are many flaws within the country, and outdated ideologies must change with the progressing society. If we look at Coke ads before 1971, there is a common reoccurring theme. Most of the actors were white, and the women portrayed in these ads were just housewives. And if they weren't just housewives, they were talking about how Coke kept off the pounds. Just stuff that generally wouldn't really be accepted today. Also, people of color weren't really represented in these ads. Secondly, Coke ads before the 1970s gave off the usual theme that most ads had at that time. It was the usual, buy this product because this product is good. This product is good because of this. You need to buy this product. It was a very direct way of saying, we're trying to sell you something. And Coke was doing that. With Coca-Cola's advertisements before, there wasn't really an attempt to connect with the viewer on a social or emotional level. Anybody watching these advertisements would be very much aware that they are being advertised something and somebody is trying to sell them something. It's time now to look at Bill Baker. Or Baker. B-A-C-K-E-R. Bill Baker. He was the creative director on the account for a global advertising agency for Coca-Cola, and he was in the process of creating lyrics for a radio ad for Coke. Baker at some point was at an airport in Ireland, very frustrated because his flight was grounded and he had to spend a night in a hotel. The next morning at the airport, he noticed something that really caught his eye. He saw people who were in the exact same position as him. Their flight was also grounded. They were together laughing and talking and giggling over sips of Coca-Cola, and that's when it hit him. Coke is not just a beverage, but in Baker's words, a subtle way of saying, let's keep each other company for a little while. At this point, he no longer saw Coke as just a beverage, but something that is universally liked, that can be shared and keep each other company for a little while. From that birthed the famous lyrics to the jingle. On February 12th, 1971, the song hit the radio and it was an instant hit. DJs all over were receiving calls to play the song, and it even had an effect on the pop charts. Now, let me just repeat that. An ad jingle actually had an effect on the pop charts. Baker also had news seekers record a version of this song, not Coke related, and it hit number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. Due to this jingle being so popular, it was decided by Coke that they were going to make a commercial out of this. The commercial was set in Italy, and they gathered 500 people of different races, ethnicities, religions, genders, all together holding Coca-Cola and lip-syncing the jingle at the top of a mountain. The cost of this ad, you may ask? Let's just say it was $250,000, and at the time it was the most expensive ad created, but it was most definitely worth every penny. Coca-Cola reported that after this ad was created, they received over, let me brace you for this one, 100,000 letters about this ad. You don't see that often, an advertisement being so loved by many. This was one of the first times that an ad actually connected with people on an emotional and social level. The commercial took aspects of what people had been fighting for the past many years and basically said, "We hear you, we agree with you, and we're with you." After many dark points in recent years, this ad was almost a glimmer of hope for people. This commercial was perfect in basically every aspect. If it was published 10 years prior, it just wouldn't get the appreciation and recognition that it received. If the ad had been published 10 years later, the relevancy to the times wouldn't be as impactful. This ad was able to incorporate emotion, connectivity, and love to selling a product which wasn't really ever seen before. All of this was just a perfect recipe that contributed to the success of the ad and overall the success of Coca-Cola as a company. I would like to thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful day.